Welcome behind the beautiful world of aquascaping. We are actually in the backyard because this way I don't have to wear a mask during this video shoot, which would be quite tricky. Most of you guys have probably seen the IAPLC ranking video we've done, and you've seen my, well, good ranking this year, which gave me a bump to enter next year's contest as well. The tank was actually ready to be taken apart, and now it's been done last week, so I have to refill the aquarium. That's what we're gonna do today, so stay tuned. This week's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring videos for creative and curious people. No matter what creative journey you want to take on, you can find classes related to any topic like photography, music, or animation. As a photographer, my favorite classes are in this field, and I can learn new tricks and explore areas I'm not comfortable with, even with years of experience. For example, I just dived into food photography with Sean Dalton's class about dark and moody food photography. I love cooking just as much as aquascaping, but I've never been able to capture my creations the way I wanted to. There's a whole lesson in this class about common mistakes, which I've checked almost all the boxes in, and now I know what to avoid. If you're new to photography but want to take photos of your aquarium like we do, Skillshare classes can guide you from the first steps of using a DSLR camera right to that final touch of perfect photo editing. And this applies to many topics. You can explore new ways of being creative every day with classes designed for real life. With Skillshare being a community, you can even join discussions. And in today's world, your voice is more important than ever, no matter if you express it through visual arts, music, or actual words. The first 1,000 of our subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity. After this, it's going to be less than $10 per month with annual subscription. Join Skillshare and express yourself. The tricky part is that I wanted to do something similar style that I've done last year, and for the first few days I had a lot of ideas, and then when the time came to actually build the aquarium, all those ideas disappeared, and the video shoots are planned up front for weeks, so today is the day that I have to make this aquarium. So it's gonna be a bit of improvisation, so to speak. Instead of going with the Frodo stones again, I'm gonna do something new. We got some new stones from Adam. They're called the Blue Fin. These are flat, very, very flat pieces. We've never had these layered build-up hardscapes before in the showroom, so now it's time. And this is gonna be my first time using the glue that Balázs always uses. We're gonna build a 120p. In this episode, you're gonna see the hardscape building itself, and then probably next week, we're gonna get back with the planting and starting the tank itself. And now I have everything laid out here, but it's gonna get in the way, so I'm gonna make some space for the build itself, and we go from there. I've laid out all the stones we have from this type, so it's easier to choose the right pieces. I'm gonna have an arch coming from here, going throughout around 2/3 of the tank to end, which will start from very high and then go a bit deeper. And on the other side, I'm going to have the same, starting almost from the same height, a bit lower, but going quickly down. This one is not so nice, but it's going to be a perfect base. The tricky thing is I'm not sure if I'm going to have to glue upside down because my plan is that the top part's gonna be the bigger ones and it gets smaller as we go down. So probably we're gonna have to do it upside down. I'm really not sure yet, but we're gonna figure it out together. This, for example, is for sure top piece. With all these textures, I really want to show these off, so I don't want to hide it in the bottom. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use only sand or I'm gonna use soil and plants or whatever, but I don't want to hide these textures with anything. I want it to be sort of stable, even without gluing, so that gives it somewhat of a natural feel. Remind me later on that I don't want to use this piece, I just put it in here to be stable. I want the hardscape itself to be around 40 centimeters, maybe 38. All the plants that I'm gonna put on top of the hardscape, they still underwater, but the tank feels properly filled. Okay, I'm gonna have to start gluing now because it's never gonna stand. Okay, so the more you add, the quicker it dries up after using. It smells quite bad, and I just add a bit and put it together.
That's not enough, I think. You need more.
You sure?
Yeah, you need more than like a little bit.
Balázs overdoes everything. Now I'm gonna do it one by one from top to bottom. And Sebi says that I need to wait 4 to 5 minutes with each gluing. Very toxic to aquatic life with long-lasting effects. Has anyone ever read this before? Okay, I'm sure it's not toxic once it's dried. You can feel after a few seconds it starts to hold. Oh, and it dried up. Okay, that's tricky business.
Yeah, you have to work fast as you can because...
Yeah, but then you have to hold it for minutes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make small batches all the time, so we don't waste much of it. That's why I've never used the glue before. It's just too much work. Obviously, the side you see right now is going to be the back side of it, so I'm not really concerned about all the glue that's showing on that side. I'm trying to keep this side clean. It's all moving together, so that's, I have good hopes. If I start to build this pillar, connecting this, bending a bit, then this one big piece would be enough. Because that's my biggest issue. If I would use 2 or 3 pieces to connect them, I really don't know how I could make nice connections in between the pieces. If I would stand here and look at it, this pillar, if it's the same height, it would seem smaller than this one because this is closer. So I need the arch to bend downwards. You have the plan, you have no clue if it's gonna work. When you see that I'm talking behind the camera, asking for help, and you think they're actually helping, they're just standing there without saying anything. We are at 40 centimeters, so I have this much to the top of the aquarium. The water level is about here. I'm gonna have plants on it, so that's perfect. Now I'm actually thinking, what if they don't connect? The guys are a bit worried how we're gonna actually move this into an aquarium. This side is proper heavy now. To give some depth, I want to build up some basically the same pillars but in small in the back, and the idea behind it would be that in here and also in this side, you're gonna be able to see the side of the aquarium. And as you know, it's a place for reflections. So what I want to make is that I build some pillars behind the big ones that you can't actually see when you look at the aquarium from the front, but you're gonna be able to see them in the reflection on the side. Okay. Yeah, it's all in one piece. This piece was in here already, and we just had another piece of rock holding it, supporting it, and they said it doesn't look too bad, so we could actually build upon that idea. So now these three pieces of rocks get in here as a support, which lead to the front of the aquarium. That's it. This is holding nothing now. I'm done with the main hardscape, and now we head on to the small bits, especially the background. We started to make the small sandwiches. What, cakes, or what did you say? I'm thinking all this space is going to be filled with just very thin layer of sand, but somewhere in behind the corners, this side and also this side, I want to lift with soil. I want to plant so there is a green reflection on the side. And the small sandwiches I made going to be lifted, not higher than this one, so it's going to be still hidden behind it, but lifted with some soil. As the process went and as the hardscape came on, this is actually something I really like, that I have a flow coming from one end to the other. Still, I have some depth with the smaller one in the middle compared to this one, so it's quite tricky, visionary. It's definitely not a really good competition tank, but I think it's going to be a nice addition to the showroom. As a final step of preparing your hardscape to a contest aquarium, my recommendation would be to take a photo, or not just one. We had a full video about how to take contest photographs of aquariums, and In that you can see that we use different focal lengths, we use different cameras, full frame or crop frame. This all comes down at the final photo you're going to send in. And if you try to find the perfect combination for that photo, even before planting, even before finishing up your hardscape, that's going to help you to achieve a much better look on your final picture. Obviously, this is only important if you plan on a contest aquarium from the very beginning. If it's just your home tank and not really aimed for contest, don't worry about any of this. For example, we had a test shot with a 100mm lens, and you can see that it's completely flat. It's completely two-dimensional. We lost all the depth that I was going for in the build itself. But if we look at the 24mm photo, you can see that we get back all the depth. You can see the rocks making this bendy shape towards the middle and the backside of the aquarium. Sometimes you can't really tell what you see, but you see it's deeper. And for example, with these rocks, you can almost feel this as a flat surface. But in here, you can see that it goes deep, and it goes, well, almost to the half of the tank, to the middle of the tank. And if you look at the top, obviously we don't have water inside, but I can see where the water level would go. And in here, I'm almost touching the very back corner of the aquarium. But with this one, I'm actually covering it. And this is gonna come down when the tank is filled up with water. This is gonna actually go in play with the top reflection, with the water surface reflection. I'm gonna go with this one for the final photo. It's a good thing that I can now see the right part of the hardscape. I need to move it closer to the glass because I have a very little amount of reflection in here, and I want to close it up. I want much more reflection inside, because if you remember, all these rocks are facing this way, so the backside is going to be a totally different view on the reflection of the glass. Just a final touch for finishing your hardscape. Check it as if you would make the final photo today. And if you are really good with Photoshop, then you can even start planning your plants and start playing around. If you want to go with sand or soil or carpeting plants, you can do all that in Photoshop before building the tank or planting the tank itself. So yeah, I think this is a good exercise even, and it's really gonna make your contest aquarium just a whole another level. So yeah, that's it for today. We're going to continue next week with pouring in soil and getting plants, which all I have to figure out because at the moment I have no clue how it's going to look. But yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button and the bell button and all the other buttons around. And if you want, please support us by joining our membership program. And that's it. See you next week. Goodbye.